Hello, hello. Can you all hear me? Okay, fabulous. My name is Bella Cox. I am also a drag king called King Pappy Cox. And I am currently wearing a black tank top and some red checkered trousers with some Vans. I have short brown curly hair. We are here as part of the bi performers in the drag scene. I'll be moderating the panel. And I'm just going to pass over to both of my lovely panelists to introduce themselves and also describe what they're wearing. So over to you.
Hello, I'm Marcus Morgan. I am wearing a red velvet jacket, slightly too many pairs of glasses, and a comedy moustache. I perform in drag as Prospero Acronym, who is non-binary and therefore not a drag king or a drag queen, but a drag wizard.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? Hi, I'm Candy Campbell. My pronouns are they, them. Today I'm wearing a silk green dress. It's really long and flowy. Oh, you should see it when it goes in the wind. It's gorgeous. I'm also wearing a black jacket that's very military-like with a bow tie. My hair is coiffed to the gods, really long, and I'm stunning.
Love it. Thank you both so much. I forgot to mention my pronouns are she, her. So we're going to be discussing what it is to be bi, pan, multi-spectrum attractioning within the drag community. And there will be space for Q&A towards the end. So if there's anything that makes you, perk up and you've got any questions, please do hold on to them. We'll have space for that at the very end. But I'm going to start us off now just with my first question. So we've sort of touched on it with our introductions, but how do you, Marcus, identify, and what does that identity mean for you within drag and within your performance when you're done eating your wafer?
I should have said my pronouns are they, them. I identify as non-binary, amongst a host of other various adjectives. And for me, well, the interesting thing is that a lot of people who've got no familiarity with drag at all, i.e. only watch maybe one television program about it.
Which one?
I don't know, I forget. Have this very, very rigid idea of what drag is. I've shown people photos of myself in character, and they've gone, wow, that's not drag. And I've gone, well, that's very, very good of you to tell me that. Thank you for informing me while you're here on holiday from Illinois. The person in question, I bow to your superior knowledge. This idea that drag is about an opposite. And yeah, for me as non-binary, I don't necessarily have a particular gender presentation that is diametrically opposed to me. And it's certainly not the one that I perform in as a drag character. So, yeah. What was the question?
I was going to ask the same thing.
You answered it very well. The question was just, how do you identify and how does that identity inform or affect your drag performance?
Yes.
I think you've covered it. You've done a great job. Thank you. Candy.
Okay, so same question. What was the question again? Okay, no, I got the question. So pronouns are they, them, so I'm non-binary. I'm basically the epitome of the rainbow family. I'm a drag queen, yes, so drag for me, it's all about freedom of expression. It allows me to be my best self. And what that looks like on a Monday differs to what it looks like on a Sunday. I consider myself, to be unique in the sense that my drag doesn't just resonate with what you see here. It also speaks to me on a deeper level, on a spiritual level, whereby I'm able to express the highest form of who I am. And that varies. Just like the rainbow, there's many different colors, different shades. We go through different phases of life. and that does change as we evolve as human beings, our personality change. So drag for me is a combination of expression of self and the highest self in the highest form, in human form. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so, continuing with you, Candy, you're going to be performing on the main stage a little bit later. Without
Yes.
giving away your entire performance, because I'm sure the lovely people here will want to come and watch you, but what could we expect from a Candy performance?
So, as you can tell from the tone of my voice, you're going to be pulled in, you're going to be absorbed. I'm going to send a message, I'm going to relay a message, because each and every one of us here, doesn't matter what you look like, what you're shaped like, you know, what you identify as, we are all spirits having a human experience. So I'll be tapping into that to remind you of who you are. And in order to do that, I'll express how I've come to realize who I am. And I hope that from this performance and just hearing me speak, you're able to just go a little bit deeper and just sit with yourself and really, you know, kind of contemplate what you want to leave as your legacy. But also, Wagwan, big up yourself. I'm from Jamaica, so I'm the drag queen of dancehall. So you're gonna have a good time, okay? We're gonna spin, we're gonna dip, we're gonna kick, we are going to the island, and we're gonna have fun. So yeah.
Fabulous. Well, I can't wait to watch you. And the same question to you, Marcus. What can we expect from a non-binary drag wizard?
I have absolutely no musical talent at all. I can't sing, play a musical instrument. I can't lip sync in time. I instead use my performance to talk about bisexuality. So my main performance art is magic, and I have, for example, a now very much signature routine where I talk about my sexual history and how that compares to the ideal of bisexuality as a rope trick. I have a person can't find their playing card routine about the discovery of your identity as a teenager in the face of people telling you that, no, they know what you are, or the four of spades, whatever. I have a routine about coming out as a bisexual and how I got to do that again and again and again, which involves the spectator having an autographed coin that turns out to be inside a box, inside a box, inside a box, as a metaphor for that. It does sound quite dry. There are a lot of really filthy jokes in it as well. Because the two things I'm good at is magic and being a bit cheeky. Hence, I bill Prospero acronym as activist cum wizard.
CUM.
Because the people who get that joke are going to have a great time at the game. And this is not me in drag, by the way. This is not what Prospero looks like. This is me putting on a jacket because I wanted to look different from the earlier panel I was in the photographs. But it's a much more involved look with floor-length goth coat and my hair sprayed purple and my moustache mascaraed bright purple, and makeup and stuff. Okay.
We did decide that as it's quite a warm day, and we were going to be on this panel for a while, we wouldn't wear. This is not me in drag either. We just did little bits. But Candy has really shown us up.
No, actually, this is what I look like just on a normal day.
On a
just
day-to-day.
I did doll up just a tad.
I mean, they're welcome. So you've sort of touched on this a little bit in terms of, Marcus, in terms of being bisexual and having to come out repeatedly. What are some of the other challenges or barriers or stereotypes that either of you have faced throughout your drag performance career?
Ooh,
Give us your trauma.
well, there is always the people who say, well, that's not drag. If what you don't look like is obviously a man in a dress with a huge wig, people think, well, that's not drag, because they've got this very limited idea of what drag is. And hey, it's not quite my trauma, but I tried watching Drag Race once. I got about an episode and a half in, and I had to stop, because whenever I've been in a show in the drag or burlesque community, everyone who's there is invested in giving the audience a fantastic show. We want the audience to go away having had a great time. Some of us want you to have learned a lesson as well, but that's just me, I'm naughty. But then I watch these programs where people are competing against each other, and it's not the community that's out there. The community that's out there is supportive, and they want everyone to go away going, wow, that was great. And if there's somebody in the audience who's thinking, well, maybe I could do this, we want them to go away thinking, yes, I could give this a go. I could also give this a go. We're not, you know, spending all of our time trying to sabotage each other and say, oh, well, you know, this is slightly better than that. It's a lot more varied. I've been on the same show as somebody who did a routine with a cardboard microwave oven on their head, singing a song about chicken. I saw another drag show recently where somebody whose gender you couldn't tell at all, dressed as a bunny person, was throwing clay at a board to make a sculpture to music with no words. How do you say, well, that's good, that's only, is that 1 point more than the person lip syncing or 2 points less? What's my index for scoring this? And so this is the thing I find traumatic, isn't the people in the drag scene, it's the perception of it from the outside that we are at each other's throat with knives all the time and not, you know, lending each other makeup and holding the light for each other when we're doing contouring and stuff in the room. It's actually a much more nurturing space. I went on a course called The Art of Drag that runs at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern. I think it's just started its term for September. But if anyone is interested in developing a drag act or drag character or just playing with the idea of drag, I really recommend doing that. It's a wonderful nurturing space.
Thank you. And Candy, what are some of the challenges that you faced?
Just remind me of the question.
So what are some of the challenges or barriers or stereotypes that you've found you've had to kind of fight against in your drag career?
So some of the challenges that I've overcome and continue to overcome is being a melanated queen within the drag scene. My take on, you know, my performance, similar to other performers out there, is to entertain, but also I like to leave a message. I like to think outside the box. Oh, is there a box? But I just think wherever I want to. And some of the barriers and challenges that I faced was, you know, being able to occupy space where a queen like myself isn't normally given the opportunity. But with that being said, I have been fortunate because I am a Sagittarius, so I won't give up. And I'm an optimist. That simply means that if you don't give me a stage, when you see me perform, you will want to give me a stage. So that there is a face, there is a voice. So there are challenges, and to all my, you know, other performers, brothers, sisters out there that are not melanated, that run these spaces for drag performers, I do urge for you to be more accommodating. You know, one of the things when I entered drag was I don't have a drag family. you're Candy Campbell, the drag queen of dance hall. Who gave you that title? I gave myself that title. I'm, you know, I've shown, you know, how great I am. However, I know that you just need to see it, and I will make you see it. And having those opportunity, you know, presented to me came with hard work. And we just asked for safe space to be able to perform. And, you know, the audience as well that most drag scene cater to doesn't look like me often. So I do find that I alter or code switch, if you know, if you've heard of that, to entertain, because we need to be seen. We need role models. And growing up in Jamaica, all I had was my doll that was made from a bottle. So I want to be able to occupy spaces and also be among fellow drag performers and to have a variety on these stages when we do perform. So yeah, that's
Preach.
challenge,
Yes.
and they will be overcome.
So both of you mentioned audience briefly in your answer just there, and I wonder what have some of the audience reactions been to your work in different spaces, or perhaps what is one of your favourite audience reactions to your performance?
I'm just gonna like go ahead and just say,
Jump in.
robbed. Listen, like I performed, and when I perform, it's all energies. It's a burst of lightning, and whereas doing that with a comedy sketch sometimes doesn't very well because I'm high energy, and you know it's what you see on the RuPaul Drag Race, and you're giving that aspect. But some of the audience, they like a good poetry or they like a good comedy, and not to say that I can't adapt and I can't do comedy, but me talking about my gran and doing in my accent, not everyone will understand. So yeah, but I've been in spaces where I've been told, oh my gosh, we thought you were going to get through, but you didn't. And I'm like, I might not have got through, but you saw me, didn't you?
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so,
Marcus, one of your favourite responses, and then we'll turn to Q&A from the audience. So prepare your questions.
Okay. Because my performance is specifically talking about bisexuality, something quite fabulous happens, which is that enough times for me to say every time, because I have terrible memory, every time I come off stage, it's normally in these venues, you don't go, you know, from the stage into the wings and then backstage into a dressing room with a doorman, none of that. You come off the stage and you walk back through the audience and you stand at the back before you go and get changed in the loo. But
Glamorous.
it is. Well, you know, and I'm sure you know as well.
I do.
But every time there will be, you know, someone who will come up to me in the interval, or one of the intervals, and say, can I just say, that was the first time I've ever seen somebody on stage talk about that. I've never seen myself reflected in a performance before. And my favourite one of all was, I went to BICON, which is a national bisexual event, a few years ago. And someone came up to me and said, hi, I don't know, you won't remember me at all. I came to see you a couple of years ago in Manchester. You talked about bisexuality, and I just wanted to say that that gave me the confidence to come out to my parents that night. And I was really touched. And I said, oh, that's wonderful, thank you so much. Oh. And then on the way home in the car, we were, all of us carpooling, we were recounting our weekend to each other. And when I got to this, I just suddenly burst into tears, because I realized just at that moment that a couple of years ago in Manchester, I hadn't been giving a talk about bisexuality. It was the bisexual takeover of the LGBT building and I'd done my rope routine. And it was seeing that had given this person it probably would have come out sooner or later anyway, but they'd given them the confidence to come out to their parents, was seeing me doing a routine about, you know, bisexuality and taking it up the arse and lots of cock jokes and all the stuff you'd expect from me, but had given them a sort of like this ray of hope. And this is what I always say to people is, make the art you want to make. The right audience will find it.
Mm. Thank you both so much for being so candid and so open and vulnerable. I'd love to open up to the audience if anyone's got any questions. Fabulous. I see one over here, I see one over there. We've got some wonderful volunteers who are going to go and find you.
Yes, so the way that we do this is that you can scan the QR code and we alternate between questions from the audience and anonymized questions from online. So if you would like to start.
2023, baby.
Hi, thanks so much for sharing. You mentioned, I think at the beginning, that many people misunderstand drag. So how would you define drag, maybe in like one sentence? Is that too hard?
Are you asking anyone specific or just anyone?
Yeah, the panel.
The panel. Nah. I'm the moderator.
No. You go first.
How would I define drag in one sentence? The performance of gender or otherwise in an expression of queer identity, sort of. I don't know. We got kings, we got things, we got creatures, we got queens. I don't know. It's sexy and it's fun.
I would describe drag as, you know, a unique process of expressing one's imagination without any gender construct or norms. Just be your best self. Your ideas, your creativity, just express it, whatever it looks like to you. We are here on this earth, which is a school, by the way, to express ourselves and to create. It doesn't matter what gender you are. And just be fabulous when you do it, darling. Yeah.
Here. Would you like to add anything to that, Marcus?
No, I think that covers it.
So we go to a QR code now.
Yes, so one of the ones here is what inspires you to get into drag and how early in life did it become a real passion?
Could you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
Yes, apologies. So this question is, what inspires you about drag and how early in your life did you really begin to feel a passion for it?
So what inspired me to be a drag queen? It was growing up in Jamaica, I was very feminine. Like, I was that kid who, you know, I could do the feng shui. I was very feminine. And I always wanted to express myself. And I remember seeing my gran, because we have this lantern, which is called a lamp, and she used to do her mascara just by the build-up of, I want to say, tar on the shade. And she did her eye makeup, and I was like, oh, this was amazing, like how creative that was. So I think it kind of, seeing someone become their most beautiful self with absolutely nothing was inspiring within itself. And then I, you know, grew up to see other drag queens, and then I know that's exactly who I am. That's the best way that I can channel all this creativity from my higher self into the world. And it just began that way, and I'm inspired by absolutely everything, by the way the wind blows, by the trees outside, and that's just a beautiful thing. because to be connected with nature and your higher self is just inspiring within itself.
Thank you. In the interest of time, and I know we've got one more question from the audience, I'm just going to go over to you in the white shirt. Did we, they're just, yeah, there. Did we have any other ones as well? Just so I'm, yeah. Oh, there's 2 more. Okay. And do we have any more? Huh? I know, we've got 5 more minutes, so we're going to have to make these some quick, sharp answers.
If it helps, I think mine are some of those ones on the QR code, so you can just nix those off. I'll do my shorter one. What's the future of drag look like?
Ooh. Let's consult our crystal ball. Go on, wizard.
Yes, well, there we are. There's 2 things that are going on at the moment. One is the proliferation of TV shows making this sort of slightly spiteful but competitive, but in many ways sanitized idea about drag that is fit to be on Netflix. And on the other hand, there are people who are just incensed at the concept at all. And they're coming for us. And they start coming for us in one place, they're eventually coming for us in the other places too. You know, what's happening in the US is going to happen here. Because that's the way people get radicalized by mass media. Not the mass media, but mass media. Is that what people are frothing at the mouth about in the States, they'll start doing that here too. We saw it with Brexit and the way that followed, you know, American-style lie politics. So we've got this shift, I think we've got to try and fight against, being pushed into a neat, clean, tidy box that is definitely safe for children because it's absolutely safe for everyone. And it won't say anything dangerous or radical or revolutionary or make you think. It'll just be, how nice does this person look in a dress and are they lip syncing in time? And so much of what drag is inherently subversive. It's about saying to people, if I can look like this, why can't you? Grayson Perry says that men come up to him at exhibitions and say, oh, I wish I could wear that. And he says, well, why don't you? What's stopping you from looking like a mad professor on the tube? You know, children look at me and cry. It's brilliant. I love it.
I'm just going to pause you.
I know.
We had one, I think we can maybe do one more question, but it's got to be really quick. And just while we're getting the microphone to you, if anyone is interested in getting Instagram handles, do you want to both sort of share your Instagram handles just really quickly so that anyone can follow? Candy, what's yours?
Okay, so my Instagram handle is EmpressMaroonDoll_. Yeah, that's where you find me. I'm very creative. I'm a weirdo.
Fab. Empress Maroon Doll.
I also like to look stunning, but it's the crazy bit of my mind that you'll love.
Fab. And Marcus, what's your one?
My Instagram is Mischief Mental. Like fundamental, but with mischief.
Apt.
Yeah.
Mine is King_Pappy Cox. All right, let's have this last question.
Hi, thank you so much. This panel has been absolutely beautiful. So I went to a drag queen show, which overall I really enjoyed, but the host made a disparaging joke about drag kings. And what is that beef? Really?
Misogyny.
Yeah.
Well,
Can I take this one?
Yeah.
I don't know what the beef is. I honestly don't, and I'm vegan. I say this because we talked about the future of drag. This is it. Whether you are male, female, non-binary, cis, whatever you are, drag is open to every single one. My nan could do drag if she wants, and she is doing drag. We're all doing drag. So I think it's to do with a limited mindset of whoever that person is, because I don't want to out anyone, but I do have family members who is a drag king. I'm a drag queen. My dad is like, what's going on? You're a drag dad. Enjoy it. So I really don't think that there should be any limitation or any animosity in terms of drag kings and queens. We should all come together. And I definitely want to see the day when drag kings, queen, trans people, everyone under the same umbrella of being queer, being just good people, just be their best self and create art in the best way they see fit.
That is a great place for us to end. I'm going to ask you all to make a very swift exit. We'll all be standing outside. If you've got any further questions, come give us a hug, come give us a kiss, and we'll see you outside. Thank you so much.